Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is, what are we, Wednesday today?
Wednesday,
okay,
yes.
I was just telling Rudy Esquivel here, my calendar's all over the place with galas over the weekend and Ray Feo and this and that, a little bit here, a little bit there. But I do know this is Pickup Lines, presented by Gamez Law Firm and Integrity Roofing and Siding. Ernie Zuniga here with you, along with Rudy Esquivel, the Rudy behind Rudy's Flooring and Remodeling. And in case you forget, just look at his shirt. Or the store right behind us.
That too. We got the logo everywhere on the arms as well.
Yes, you do, man. The website too,
Yeah,
in case I forget.
Yes,
Rudy'sFlooring.com. It's great to see you, sir. I appreciate you being here, and I've said this on social media many times and publicly. You've supported me with Pickup Lines, and I will eternally be grateful for that. And you guys have done flooring in my home a couple of times, so I'm not just saying things that you want to hear. I have 3 teenagers, a dog, and a cat, and my floors are still holding up and look amazing. So you guys are doing something right. But I appreciate you being here. We're inside the all-electric Lexus RZ450E, courtesy of North Park Lexus of San Antonio, North Park Lexus at Dominion. So we're going to talk here. We'll talk flooring a little bit, but I'm always interested in the story. You kind of, I was telling you, I ran into your brother over the weekend, and we were talking about once upon a time how, was it your dad, or that's how flooring was first introduced to you in your life years ago?
Exactly, yes. It was my dad. He's actually my stepfather, but for me, my father overall, that we got into this business doing the flooring. I mean, in my specific family, we have a whole construction family overall.
Yeah.
One of my uncles is a roofer. Lots of my uncles, or all of them, were mechanics. Also, another one of my uncles was a framer.
Wow.
Another one was my grandpa overall. It was the do-it-your-all, old school grandpa that didn't ask anybody to do anything for him, even though we have a remodeling construction business. Until the day he passed, he was still doing everything himself, because he was the only way he always did it each and every time, and still teaching us the entire time of what to do and not to do, everything like that.
And his tools were probably amazing.
Oh, wow. They're antiques. Yeah.
I was going to say, not that they're like state of the art, but I'm saying just like those old school toolboxes and
belong in museums.
They absolutely they do. So do you guys just call each other up and trade, barter or whatever? Like, you fix my car and I'll put some flooring in, or what?
Exactly.
That kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah, we do every now and then. We try to do that, but then you find that you have that fine line of doing business with family.
Oh.
It always happens, but
tricky.
Exactly, it's always sticky. But at the same time, we're able to still call upon each other. Each and every time. My cousin that is a master electrician as well. He has his company that he does. If I have questions or anything like that, I call him. Same thing with another family member that is an actual framer. Anything I need, code wise, or anything I need him to do,
all that stuff.
Anything and everything is just a phone call away, so it helps.
That comes in handy.
It does.
Pun intended. Pun intended. Very cool. So, at what age were you first introduced to? When did you lay your first floor down, or what do you remember about that?
Unsupervised. No, I started going with my dad. Summers, weekends, holidays. I was about 10 years old. Basically, right when you hit that going to 5th grade. My mom always said, because in my household, it was myself, my older brother, my only brother, and we also had 4 cousins that lived with us
in the house.
In the house. And we're all a year apart. I'm the youngest of them. Wow. So it was myself and 4 of my cousins, all a year apart, so all the way up to my brother, which is 5 years older than me. We're all in the same house, same school. So my mom was fed up with us, so summers, weekends, holidays, if we didn't have practice or school, you're going straight to work. So my dad was like, I got 5 people I got to take to work. And so we'd all go and do our own thing. But about 10 years old is when I started going. For me at that time, I was picking up trash. He was, hey, go pick up all the stuff. Keep me busy.
Dirty work.
Exactly. Things that nobody wants to do. But then, you want to actually learn.
Yeah.
As a youngest, you're like, I want to keep up with the older people. I want to do that.
Right.
So I started learning and how to do things and why to do things. And probably about the age of 12 or 13, getting in middle school, I was probably laying it by myself already. Still supervising, having my dad watch from the corner of the door, making sure I'm not doing anything wrong, things like that.
At 10, I was playing with, piles of dirt and twigs and making mud balls or mud pies and stuff like that, and playing with lizards or whatever.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, no, the good thing is I enjoy it, is the thing, because putting
you have to
back then, in the 90s, in the 1900s, back
the 20th century,
exactly.
Yeah,
all we did back then was linoleum, which is sheet vinyl,
yeah,
and carpet, and but even still doing that, putting things together, it's like Legos or anything else.
A puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have the right pieces to fit. You can't put the square in the circle. You still have to be able to, put everything coordinated.
Which is why I will never be a flooring, like yourself, because I know myself. I don't have the patience or the the precision that you guys have.
Yes.
To do it, and you could do it in your sleep now. But when you were 10, excuse me, when you were 9, 10 years old, and this is happening, did you have any concept of what career path you wanted to take, or did you always think, I'm going to do what my dad did and I'm going to lay flooring?
At 9 or 10, I don't think anybody really does know what they want to do. But by the time I got to, high school, and I was really into athletics itself, I knew I didn't want to lay flooring.
You did?
I did not want to do that at all. I love what I do, even in weekends. And I didn't have practice, and I was so much work and still enjoyed it every day up until before training camp started for any sport I was in.
Where'd you go to high school?
Highlands High School.
Excuse me, Highlands Owls. Okay,
yes,
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay,
very
good.
As they say, the pride of the southeast side.
Yes, very nice.
I actually got, because of being in so much athletics, from baseball to basketball to track and football, everything that I was in, I started seeing a lot of injuries happening. Yeah. A lot of people, people that try to take painkillers, and they would take, and I didn't agree with all that.
Yeah.
You numb something to get back out there and hurt yourself more.
Right.
So I was actually looking to be more pharmaceutical, going in that line overall, and for more, to understand why, things are in things overall. I love, and still to this day, math and science. It's one thing, and in my job, it's basically what we do every day.
Wow,
is formulas and measurements, geometry and everything else. So it kind of went hand in hand. But for me, it was different. It was going to be, medicines versus products overall. Right. And so, but fast forward, my wife, now that I've been married to 21 years, 22 years, something like that.
Yeah.
I should, don't quote me,
no.
And don't tell her.
Just don't forget your anniversary date.
Yes. She got pregnant, and we were and she already had a couple kids.
Right.
So we were already immediate family. I need to get to work. I'm in school, I'm in college, but I got to start obviously making work right away. And I had a great fallback, which was flooring, and what I started getting into, and really enjoyed it, and still don't really complain about what I do. Fast forward at where we are today.
Math and science, two more things that I was not great at, so which is why I got into journalism,
yes,
talking for a living, because I can actually, I think I'm decent at this. But super cool. So you started the company, was it in 2004?
2004, yes.
So happy 20th anniversary.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. It's October 1st, 2004 is when I actually made the name of Rudy's Flooring.
Okay.
Overall, I was already doing work actually for other companies.
Right.
But I started actually getting a lot of essentially side jobs.
Yeah.
But there was more of actual people wanting me specifically to perform work in their home or their business. So I needed an entity and needed to essentially, as my wife said, you need to grow up and get a business. I said, okay, well, and it started. So I went down to the courthouse. Couldn't think of anything. They was like, what is your name or company? I was like, oh. I think I had to think of that. Rudy's Flooring. I can't think of anything on the spot. That's all I could think of. The best I could come up with at the time.
It worked. It worked.
Yes.
How scary was it though? Because to take that leap. I guess in your case you did it out of necessity, or because your wife was like, "Vámonos, let's get with the program here."
Exactly.
But it must have been scary at the time.
Without it. Well, at the time,
baby on the way and those kinds of things.
Exactly. It was nerve-wracking, but I knew I was ready for it. I was excited for it more than anything. So at the time I was doing a little bit, of work. Back then it was really booming, the housing.
Yeah.
So, we were doing contracts for all the big builders that you see nowadays. D.R. Horton, Legacy, Meritage, Armadillo Homes. We even had a contract through Sawhall. And so when the recession hit, we were still actually doing well, mainly because of the contracts we had. But when they dried up in November or December of 2009, I was like, oh, this is what you mean. I didn't understand
Right,
at the time because we weren't immediately affected by it right away. So January 2010 is when I opened my first retail store. Before then, I was just kind of working out of the truck still.
Yeah.
So working out of that because I saw the need for it, and I didn't have to carry samples in my truck all the time, even though we still do.
Yeah.
But now I opened my first retail store in January 2010.
Yeah.
And just, from there, just keep kind of moving and trucking along.
All right. So right behind us, literally through the window here, is your current location. We're at 1604, essentially Bandera. And you've been here a few years already, right?
Yes, since 2020. We opened
right in the pandemic.
Yeah, right. Save money on the grand opening.
That's true. That's one way to look at it.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
one way to look at it.
Yes,
Yeah. But that's. I mean, I'm assuming you came here out of a need to grow. And,
exactly. Yeah. So before, and we were on Bandera and Mystic Parkway.
Yeah.
In between Gilbo and Bresnahan.
Yeah.
In the French Creek Village Shopping Center. We were there for 8 years. Loved the area. We just outgrew it. I just outgrew it. Needed more space. I mean, because really, the flooring is one thing that we had a lot of samples of and still do.
Yeah.
We just couldn't show off what our actual remodeling side could do.
Right.
As far as for the kitchens and bathrooms and the detailed things. You can only see so much in images. But most people want to touch, see, feel,
absolutely,
and know what's going on. Exactly.
And again, right behind us, you have a fabulous showroom with exactly what you're talking about. You can walk into showers, you can grab handles, you can see all of the flooring samples and everything. And you brought a sample with you
here.
I
did. Yes.
Which we can show off here in just a minute. But I wanted to ask because I was talking to your brother too, and he's been very successful. But he did not go into flooring with you.
He did
at the beginning,
and then did realize it wasn't for him. So to speak. Overall, he did. So we all grew up in it. We all do it. I was actually his helper at one point in time. Long time in the 1900s. I was his helper, but
last century.
And so he still he knows of it overall.
He can do it in a pinch.
Probably, maybe not. He's probably still call me.
Maybe not. Maybe that's good. That's good. Flooring as it is today, it's evolved. You talked about linoleum earlier and just those kinds of things. But how would you, if you were to kind of describe the flooring landscape as it is right now, what are some of the highlights or some things people would want to know?
Well, the number one thing is just at least I ask when I go in to speak to somebody is like, tell me your lifestyle. And what I mean by that is family, pets, traffic, everything like that. Because not all flooring is made the same. It's not all made to hold up to everything.
Right.
We have the gold standard is always hardwood flooring.
Yeah.
But it's not about affordability, it's about durability.
Right.
Of it. So if you have, 2 pets, 3 kids that are active and running up and down anywhere and everywhere, hardwood flooring for you at that time is probably not the best thing to at least last you the next 10, 12 years or so, 15 years down the road.
Yeah.
That is not one thing that we would suggest for you.
Right.
And so you would go through all the different elements because it's not an annual thing. You don't want to do it every year. This is not something. I mean, that'd be great for business.
That'd be great for you, but
but it's still not a great thing to actually to live with overall.
Right.
You don't want to have to walk on eggshells if you're flooring.
No, you don't. And I would think sometimes people will gravitate to what they think looks the prettiest or the nicest or what would look the best in their home, not realizing it might not be the most functional.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly it. So that's the way it always goes when they walk in. I'm looking for this color, this style, this everything. Say, okay, well, great. Well, now we have the different options and styles of flooring to go meet that criteria that you're looking for. And then now we figure that out. Then we see, okay, well, how much traffic do you really have? Let's over exaggerate how much you actually have, so you have something that can to hold up to that day in and day out.
Makes a lot of sense. All right, is your dad still around?
Yes.
So one, what does he think about your success and everything? And two, what would you say is the biggest takeaway you learned from him that you could never have learned in a classroom or reading a book or something like that?
He talks about it all the time how proud he is of what we do because starting off out of necessity, obviously. Just talking, he still actually he works for us, so he's the one. He actually manages our warehouse.
Wow.
He doesn't get out in the field anymore. He sits there, kind of. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts in what we do.
Yeah.
For all the nuts, bolts, and everything that we need for our warehouse. So he manages that, and a lot of the guys that we have there, getting everybody loaded out in the morning. The number one thing I learned from him all the time, or I learned from him, honestly, is patience. It's patience, because each and every day working in customers' homes, understand that we are essentially, even though we're invited, we're still guests inside somebody's home. And understanding and learning that we're going into somebody's home, there may be obviously the high levels of anxiety.
Yes.
Of tearing up their flooring, moving their furniture.
Yeah.
Walking in and out of their home, just understand that you got the patience for them. That some people,
right.
if it's a job that we're there for 2
days, I mean, it's hours or days,
exactly,
yeah.
or weeks, or months, anything like that. That we understand that we got to go through that entire journey with them, and understand that they're going to have maybe different levels of emotions throughout each one, and learning the patience from him. That was the number one thing that I learned from him, and also the number one thing that I learned that I still do to this day. It doesn't cost anything for yes ma'am, yes sir, thank you. Just
courtesy.
Exactly, that courtesy out there.
Yeah.
And so one thing he instilled into us each and every time, each and every day.
And that never changes. 1900s, 2000s,
not at all.
Whatever, that passes through time. Rudy'sFlooring.com is the website if you'd like more information, and he'll show us off a sample here in just a little bit.
Yes.
I wonder what the craziest thing that's ever happened to you, or if you have any crazy stories, without naming names, or anything that's happened that...
I mean, so there's a list of them, but the one thing that a lot of our guys have been with us for 10, 12, 15 years.
That's great.
And I one thing that we talk about often that they bring up is maybe some of the houses that they had to, it was an eviction house, so that we don't know the people that live there,
right.
but where they touch the carpet and it's just soaking wet, and it's not from water. It's just from animals that just ran all over the place, and getting through that, and when we get to that, it's it was like they called me one time, like, do we have to do this? I was like, unfortunately, it's part of what we do. You just have you have the gloves,
it's like a hazmat situation.
Exactly, pretty much. You got to roll it up and kind of toss it into the dumpster. The strangest house we walked into, it was actually when I was working still with my dad. We were doing some flooring, and we looked through a window. We heard all this jumping around, movement, kind of noise. And we looked through the window, and there's a kangaroo.
What?
In its own room.
It was meant to be there.
It was meant to be there. It was meant to be there. It was completely in its own room. Had a TV up there. I didn't think about if it was legal or not to have that. But this was 25 years ago or so.
Wow.
And looking at it, there's a kangaroo just jumping around, and they have a drain on the floor too. So
it does.
That's what
does
it
its thing.
Yeah, it that shocked me. It probably still would shock me if I saw it again today, because I've never seen that again.
So when you're getting ready to do a job, you have to ask now, do you have any wildlife in your house?
Exactly. Yes. Is there anything that we need to know about? We see a lot of snakes and different things in aquariums. And then we always tell people, you have to move those yourself.
Yes.
We don't want to do that, but do you have any exotics, other than vehicles that we need to actually know about?
Exotic animals, living, breathing creatures.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, a lot of great flooring companies in San Antonio, and I mean, companies that have been around for decades, family-owned businesses and everything. How competitive is it, and why do you think you've been able to be so successful for now, 2+ decades?
It's it's definitely really competitive for sure. I mean, because every other corner you can find somebody that can put flooring for you,
right,
or do a bathroom remodel or anything like that. For sure, the biggest thing is always that we've learned is being 100% honest with anything and everything, with a product that you're looking to get, and what to expect from it.
Right.
And the most important thing that I think that really kind of sets us apart from everything is actually having employee installers, and not third party coming in. Because I learned, whenever I installed myself for other companies, I learned employees have much more care and rapport with the customer and what they're doing, as opposed to somebody coming in just looking to lay down some floor, because that's the only way they get paid is per square foot that they get install. Being able to actually go through the process of what they're going to do and communicate with the customer.
So they have ownership.
Exactly.
I mean, quite literally have ownership in the company. But the company literally has your name on it too. So there's some pressure there.
Yeah, it is 100%. And that's the thing that every year when we have our guys, we have Christmas parties, and we have mid-year we'll have we'll take their whole family out to the beach, you know, because
nice.
you know, everything like that. So they have, you know, when they wear the shirt and logo, they're actually proud to wear it, you know, each and every time. As far as they're proud to work for the companies. Like, I work for Rudy's Flooring and Remodeling, and we enjoy it because they understand that it's a hard world out there.
It's manual labor too.
And then I know too from doing it from experience, from picking up trash to you know, to installing the flooring, to selling the flooring, the whole aspect of it all, and then what needs to be done, it has to be done, and why it has to be done overall.
You've done very well, obviously. I don't know, how many trucks do you have?
10.
You have 10 trucks. I see them moving around and everything. I see you advertise at UTSA football games. I think at the rodeo I saw it. So you've obviously done very well.
Yes.
Why do you like to give back and do those kinds of things?
Well, because, you know, San Antonio, in my opinion, you know, born and raised San Antonio here, has always, you know, been forgotten about, you know, from, you know, the Houstons and Dallases and Austins and everything like that. And San Antonio is my opinion, the best city to live in and to, you know, for anything. That. Exactly. You know, we spend a lot of time because my daughter goes to school in Austin. We can't wait to get out of there. You know, whenever we come back in and out. I love Houston. It's just too crowded, too inundated. Dallas isn't really our scene all the time. Got it. You know, it's a big city now, but the small town feel of San Antonio, Texas, you can't match. You can't match it all. And then the people here that have always been here are always just so friendly and gracious, and it's just, I just love anything and everything about San Antonio.
I agree. No, you're like the third person to say that this week. The small town, you know, the seventh largest city in the country, but still has a small town feel. So I hope we never lose that.
No,
because I know a lot of people are coming.
Yes.
I hope we never lose that. Before we run out of time here, you have a sample or something here in your lap.
Yes, so I brought this, and this is part of the biggest rush and age of flooring that we do. It's called the luxury vinyl plank. Is what we have here. And I think this is somewhat of what we put for you as well. So the one thing I always say is that the flooring, when they say waterproof, shouldn't have any wood inside of it at all.
Right.
So not in the core, not in the backing, or anything like that, because wood, in general, absorbs water.
Yes.
I mean, each and every time.
Expands.
Exactly. Exactly. This product here doesn't have any wood in it at all. It's basically made out of crushed tile, rubber, you know, everything like that. So it's actually, it doesn't absorb any moisture or water, and also it's much more comfortable to walk on because it gives back a bit, has a little bit of sponge. And it gives you the wood look that you're looking for. It gives you the waterproof that you're looking for in tile, and gives you the softness that you need on, because, you know, walking on hard surface on your knees, back, feet, joint, it's rough. This actually has a little bit of cushion and gives back, you know, a little more support. Overall.
I can attest to all of those things as well. When the occasional spill happens or something in the Zuniga house, this thing holds up really well. And it also comes down to the padding you put underneath it, too.
For sure, exactly.
I'm not going to lie. Once upon a time, I went cheap on padding underneath, and I quite literally paid the price.
Yeah, you can feel and hear the difference.
Yes, you can. You can. So in a typical week, how many houses or how much of this would you say you order, or you're laying down?
In a week, usually about 3,000 to 5,000 square feet a week that we're laying of this. In a year's time, we're a little over 100,000 to 150,000 square feet of this specific product that we're laying, you know, every year, because it is, you know, almost the flooring that answers all the questions. Now, again, there's not one flooring that is perfect for everybody.
Right.
But this one specifically, we do quite a bit of.
And it checks all the boxes and everything. It's good for animals and kiddos and everything like that.
The most important.
All right, so what's on the horizon for you? You're 20, getting ready to 20 years here in October, with many more hopefully to go. Well, what else would you like to do or accomplish?
Well, our next thing that we're looking to do, because we're very big in the space of, you know, bathroom remodels and kitchen remodels. So we do roughly about 100 showers a year and a little over 12 to 15 kitchens a year, you know, remodel wise. We've been doing actually room additions. So adding on square footage to your home. It's something that we have always been done. We've been licensed to do. We just, you know, we like to tread lightly and get a few dozen under our belt
Right.
to call ourselves professional, not just do it once or twice and say, yeah, we can do things. We like to have all the answers when somebody comes to ask us. So that's something that here in the next few years we're looking to expand our room addition side of it. And we're working on a few of those at the moment now. And on our social media page, we've been shooting a lot of those as well, as far as this is what we do. We can add on, convert your garage if it's there, or your back patio. We can definitely get out that way. And the next 5 to 7 years, we're looking to then move into new builds. And so that's our plan and process.
All right. I was going to mention your social media on Instagram, and I'll be sure to tag you on all of this so people can see it. But you guys do post. You do cool little features in kitchens, and you did a coffee bar, and you do things with sinks and cabinets and pull-out drawers and cool little things that people might not even know are possible.
And the one thing I always talk about, because I have my wife and 4 daughters.
God bless you.
So knowing, counter space and storage space, the most important things in bathrooms.
Closet space,
exactly.
Makeup space. Yes. I only have 2 daughters, and I need you to come over and take a look at the situation.
So knowing that where the hair dryers need to go, everything needs a place for it. It doesn't mean it needs to be all on the countertop. Also, because
didn't you do something with a holster recently?
Yes, exactly,
I saw that for the hair dryer.
Exactly, it goes inside of a cabinet, inside of the drawer. And you run electrical into that. Put it in there. It's always there and ready. It doesn't stay out. It's just things, I always think of, because of, whenever I go into somebody's home, they're like, hey, give me some ideas. I look at it as if I was going to live there, and what I would need and want, and what I know my daughters, I see what they need, my wife, and everything of the feedback. Basically, I've learned, to the need for storage and space, and the cubic footage is what I say. Utilize the entire space.
Right on cue, my wife. I need my bathroom done. It's like, I'm telling you. You see, you thought I was kidding.
Yes.
If I should have sent you a picture of our bathroom. It's a hot mess right now with hair dryers and I won't name any names. But at any rate, we'll talk soon. Couple more minutes here. I feel we're about a month, 6 weeks away from Fiesta.
Yes.
And Rudy knows my love language. He already has. Well, let's show it off here. Let's unpackage this here. Because the Rudy's Flooring and Remodeling Fiesta Metal is out, and feast your eyes on that right there. So you're a big fan of Fiesta.
Yes. Yes, anything and everything it really stands for. Sometimes the good, bad, and the ugly, but even still
I love it.
The give back that it actually means.
I was gonna say, I didn't know if these were tiles or not. You spell that Fiesta with porcelain tiles or something on there, but that's really cute.
Yes.
So how can people get one of these?
So we have them in our store, here, located at off the access road of 1604, about half a mile from 1604 and Bandera.
By the Santico Silverado.
Exactly, right down the road from that access door. You can come to the store and get them, and all the proceeds are going to go towards the Down syndrome.
I love it. I told you. Yeah, I know you're very active with, not giving back and everything. So that's super cool that you're doing that. There's a charitable component there.
Yes, exactly.
Very nice. All right. So now you obviously run the company. Do you still physically install flooring and do that yourself?
I do not. But funny story is last week we were in need. We were behind a bit.
Yeah.
I actually had to dust off my pants and go install some carpet last weekend at a good friend of my house. He has a brand new construction. Yeah. And because the guy, we were behind a bit, so I forgot how difficult it hurts in the back and knees. I was in there seaming up the carpet, stretching the carpet, and getting back out there. I don't do it as often as I used to. I was talking to one of the guys, and I was like, "When's the last time I did a seam for y'all?" He was like, "About 12 years ago."
What?
I was like, "It has been a while." I said, "It has been a while. It has to do it." No, that's a great thing about why the guys love what working for us is that if I need to get in there and do it, I know how to do it, and also if they call me, I can guide them through a way to solve any problem that needs to be done overall. But no. So the one thing I would definitely stay away from myself from now in the near future is demoing any tile. That's the one thing I was like, you know what? I think y'all got that.
I will never forget when you guys installed the flooring in my house and you were finishing up, and the gentleman who was in there painting, I think, trim on the staircase or something. I will never forget this. He painted with no painter's tape or anything, the straightest line the most precise. I could try it 1,000 times and I would never be able to do it. And he sat there and did it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
He's probably done it 100,000 times.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
But I will never, just to show you kind of the detail and everything. Super cool stuff. Rudy'sFlooring.com. The Fiesta medals are out. Just come and learn something or check it out. Like he said, you can touch and feel everything over here. And I know you got a busy day ahead of you, but I am so thrilled for you, man.
Appreciate that.
Here's to 20 more years
yes,
and beyond. And thank you for supporting my show and,
of
for
course,
supporting me in other ways as well. So I appreciate it.
Great show.
All right, Rudy Esquivel. There you have it. Rudy's Flooring and Remodeling right behind us here, 1604 in Bandera, just a stone's throw away from the Silverado Santikos Theater. And he would love for you to come by and see him. All right, there you have another episode of Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm, Integrity Roofing and Siding. We'll be back very soon with another episode right here. So have a great day. Bye for now.
Thank you.